In today's video, we are going to be seeing more gameplay of the Kingdoms TCG. Stay tuned. Hey YouTube, Tyler here with the Kingdoms TCG, and I want to thank you for taking your precious time and clicking on this video. As per usual, the links will be in the description below where you can get access to the Instagram and the Facebook page, as well as a link for the Game Crafter where you can get your hands on your very own Kingdoms TCG product. I apologize for the delay in posting this video. My wife and I were in the process of moving, but nonetheless, I'm going to get this video out for you guys. And so that's why the background is going to be different, but it's alright, it'll work. So like I said, today's video is going to be more gameplay, and it's going to be Alex, who is the 1 seed, who is playing with Linford, versus Carter, who was in last week's video, the 8 seed, playing with Furbish. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's see what happens. Alright, so here we go, and today's competition is going to be Carter on the right versus Alex on the left side. Carter is the 8 seed, and we saw him in last week's video playing with Furbish against Zach, who is the 9 seed against Essercrest. And this is Alex's first match that we are recording. Alex is coming in as the 1 seed, who played very well during pool play. So it seems that, that Alex has revealed Skylight Fountain for his Phase 1, and then Carter has revealed Marketplace for his Phase 1 as well, and Alex will be going first. Alex is going to be open up with a turn 1 Lancer, which for Linford is a great opening move, so he's going to dig into his fortress and pull out the cards that he wants to pull out, and that's going to end his turn. So now Carter's going to go into his turn. Having Marketplace for your for Sacred is pretty good. It allows you to dig into your fortress and start to get the cards that you want to get. Looks like Carter's just going to avoid that ability though. Just draw 1 card. That is the bad side about Marketplace, is you do face that challenge of, do I want to send a card to the graveyard? Which for some decks though, that's actually a pretty good strategy because you want to get cards in the graveyard such as Essercrest. That besides the point though, Carter is going to be playing 3, so he's already going to be getting a pretty good Magicka base going. So maybe not the best first turn that he was hoping for, but at least he has some Magicka, and we'll see what he can do with that. He's past turn. And then Alex is just lucky to get another Lancer, which is a 700/300. He's going to dig into his fortress again just to continue to armor up his hand that he has, just to be prepared for anything that Carter has. And actually, Alex is going to swing in during his attack phase, and he's just going to totally wipe out Carter's first Sacred. Unfortunately, that's just the fast-paced tempo of Linford, and maybe slight deck failing on Carter's part, which is nothing he can help, obviously. But you never know. He might have gotten some cards in his hand that he's just waiting to play. You know, sometimes people are just using that Marketplace. If it's a Phase 1, they just at least want to have that out for 1 turn. They don't really care about that card being eliminated just because they want to get to Phase 2, depending on how many or what type of battle cards they have in their fortress. So Carter is going to reveal Shual Waterfall, 2,000 health, and being a Mrift player, it's going to make his battle cards cost -1 Magicka, which might be to his advantage, being that he does have 8 Magicka to spend now because of that 3 token. So we'll see if he's able to do anything. Because the Lancers only have 300 health, he could whip out 2 Prison Guards and easily just get rid of those if need be. So he is going to do Outpost Tower. Outpost Tower is going to be able to do that Fortress ability, look for the top 2 cards and be able to put 1 in his hand.
Yeah, 1 card from your hand. You draw 2, and you get to I'll make him defensive.
So it looks like Carter did. So it looks like Carter is doing stuff slightly out of turn, drawing a card after playing a card, but Alex is nice enough to remind Carter about the Outpost Tower ability. So that's important with gameplay. Make sure you do your turn in the proper order that you're supposed to do it in. You always draw a card, then you play cards, then you go to your attack phase, then your recoup phase for any other cards that you want to play, and then your end turn. So thankfully though, Carter is able to bring out Prison Guard and Outpost Tower. Both have 300 attack, and because of Skylight Fountain though, he's going to have to attack Lancers, which would be to his advantage just to get them off the field.
You could sign this 1, attack the other, kill the other.
The thing that makes it difficult for Furbish is if you can't back up maybe the not so powerful, cheaper Mrift battle cards, like with some Furbish spells, then it's going to make it a little bit difficult to get over some powerful forces such as the Linford battle cards. Carter is just going to attack with 1 card, and he's going to silence the other Lancer. Alex bringing out his own outpost tower. He's going to look at his top 2 cards, see which one he wants to put in his hand.
How much health does he have? He's 300 health.
And you'll notice that on the bottom left of your screen that Alex is playing with his graveyard face down, whereas most players play with it face up. As of yet, there are no rules pertaining to if you have to play with your graveyard face up or face down. That is something still to be figured out. But at this moment in time, there's not enough cards in the game to justify having a rule regarding to the graveyard. Now, because Alex has been able to play all these Lancers and Outpost Tower, you see that he has quite too many cards. He has 2 Summoner's Calls, a Frontman, looks like a Apprentice, 2 Dark Assassins, and it looks like a token as well. He's going to be getting rid of a Summoner's Call. He had to think about that for a second. The thing about Summoner's Call is, 1, it's a neutral spell. There's no cards currently in set 1 that allow you to get neutral spells back into your hand, and but he has one of them, at least in his hand, so he knows he can get back at least one of those Lancers if that's what he wants to do. He's going to swing in an attack. He's going to just totally avoid hitting Outpost Tower. He's just going to keep that heavy pressure going on a card, especially because Shual Waterfall does only have it has 2,000 health, which is a tremendous amount of health. So for Alex to slowly chip away at that is important, because you don't want to be falling behind all of a sudden and your opponent still has a 2,000 health Sacred. Carter is going to take his turn, figuring out what card he wants to play. He is going to play Tradesman. Phase 4, cost 4, Phase 1 with about 600 health. So it does have a tremendous amount of health, which is just a pretty good neutral battle card to have.
That's for Marith cards. That's a neutral.
Yeah. Now is the part of the video where I like to take a quick break and do what I like to call Bible talk. This morning I actually preached a sermon at a church where I was talking about a king that you find in the book of 1 Kings by the name of King Ahab. And what I was talking about was how King Ahab, as what Scripture says, is that King Ahab was the worst king of all the kings that you read in Scripture. But the thing is when you read about the story of King Ahab found in chapters 16 through 22, you see that he had all these crazy and divine encounters with God, and yet never chose to believe in him. And in the end, it resulted in a very gruesome death, the exact type of death that God had predicted through a prophet by the name of Elijah. Why I want to share that is maybe for some of you who don't believe in God, I really do believe that God in some way or somehow has shown himself to you, and now it's just a matter of choosing. Are you going to turn and obey and love God? Because the fact of the matter is that God has created you as his son or as his daughter, and he wants to have a relationship with you, and that choice is just up to you. And for those of you that do believe in Jesus or are just curious about the story, like I said, the story of King Ahab is in the book of 1 Kings, which is in the Old Testament, chapter 16 through 22. Might be something fun for you guys to read this upcoming week. With that, let's go ahead and jump back into the gameplay video. So Alex helping clarify a rule for the game and maybe count an error on design part on my end, but sometimes what people get confused is the difference between Marith, Borum, Tanis, Neutral, Furbish, Linford, Estercrest. The way the game is you have your 3 spirits in the game. You have Linford, or you have Borum, Marith, and Tanis, and those logos will always be in the upper right corners of a card. You see Lancer, for example, in the upper right corner has that sword symbol. That means it is part of the Borum spirit. Now, in the bottom right of all cards, they have a flag, and you'll see a lot of those cards out there have that brown and white flag, signifying that it is a neutral card. So the upper right logo indicates what spirit a card is associated with, and then the flag on the bottom indicates what kingdom a card is part of. So you can have cards that are of different kingdoms, but they have to be of the same spirit, if that makes sense. Carter is going to make a trade. He's going to take his Outpost Tower, kill the Lancer, and then Alex is going to take his turn. He has drawn a 3 token. Now, the thing that can be difficult is people can be so quick to decide, do I just want to play all these tokens, because you have to pay Magicka to play a token. So in doing that, you're setting aside your turn. Alex is seeing, though, because he has Skylight Fountain out, he has a battle card out, Outpost Tower. Now, Tradesman attack isn't enough to get over Outpost Tower by just simply killing Outpost Tower. So Alex is taking this as a very advantageous turn to set down those 2 tokens, because he has enough time to get some other cards out on the field. So he's just going to spend all 5 magic he has to get those 2 tokens out in the field.
13, 4, 8, 12.
He is going to deal a little bit of damage, though, to Carter's Sacred, and now Carter's going to take his turn.
He was free since it's -2 cost. He came back with 13 here, plus I got
Carter
5.
going to play a 1 token, which is going to raise his base Magicka to 9 at the start of his next turn.
This is free, so.
And Alex is now currently sitting at 10 Magicka, so now really as a Linford player, kind of there's no limit as to what he could play if he wants to.
He's got 1,000 attack technically, since he's down 100.
Carter just needs to get some more cards out in the field and try to set himself up to fully launch Alex into his second Sacred phase. But when you're playing Linford, you have that fear of a turn 2 bar bouncer or a phase 2 bar bouncer, and some of the other powerful phase 2 cards, or even getting them to phase 3. The Psychotic Soldier, a 900 card, a 900 attack card with Rage, that can be difficult too. Carter doesn't really have any other cards to play, so he is going to lay down the secret spell block. So since he doesn't have any battle cards, he's at least going to use his heavy Magicka that he has to maybe try to delay Alex just dealing more damage to him. Alex is going to use the other Summoner's Call that he had kept in his hand, and he's going to bring out Lancer. That's kind of a go-to card to go for, because now it's going to allow him to, again, look in his fortress for a card that he wants.
This one is not. This one is.
And now he has a 700 beater, which is easily going to be able to get him over Tradesman. And so I won't be surprised if maybe Alex just tries to get rid of Tradesman just because he has so much health. Because what could happen is if Carter flips into a phase 3 Skylight Fountain and Lancer gets defeated or destroyed, now Alex is without a way to get over a high health card with Skylight Fountain as Carter's 3rd Sacred. Alex going to bring out a frontman, because he has so much Magicka because of those 2 tokens he was able to set down.
I'm gonna
Cancel.
hit 7. Well, usually I have 7. Hit there. He's gone. 300 and then Rage
400 use Sacred.
Okay. So I'm gonna be doing 1,600.
So Alex is going to be swinging in with a total of 1,600 damage, but you see that he went through each card individually, because the thing is when you do combat, it's each card attacking once at a time. You can't combine cards when they attack. So in him announcing one card that he was attacking with, that gave Carter a chance to respond to each and every individual attack. So actually, Carter's quite fortunate. He's going to be flipping into a phase 3 Skylight Fountain. So now Tradesman all of a sudden becomes very significant. All Carter needs to be able to do is to somehow bring out a card, such as a Prison Guard, that can simply just trade with Lancer and maybe silence Frontman. Just enough just to hold or sustain him. So we'll see what he's able to do. I wasn't able to see what card he drew, but hopefully it's a good card. Unfortunately, it stinks. He has not been able to dig into his fortress as much as Alex has. So Alex has been able to get all the cards that he really wants to have in his hand. And unfortunately, Carter's just kind of stuck with the cards that he's drawing. Tradesman's the only thing that's keeping him in the game. Alex removing Frontman because he did rage with it during his attack phase. So just a slight little thing, just forgetting to get that. But that is all good. So it does look like Carter drew into a council board member, which for a phase 3 Furbish player, this is a excellent card to play, and he should play it, but is he going to play it? He does have 9 Magicka to spend, so he might be tempted to play some other cards. He's got Abandoned Army, he has Silence, he does have Tax Collector in his hand, he also has, I believe, Templefield Gardener.
Yeah, because I don't have any.
So he is going to play Templefield Gardener. Might not have been the best choice in this moment, but actually he is going to be able to bring out council board member as well. So let's see.
Yeah, that was rough.
Okay, so Alex is going to be playing Dark Assassin on Carter's council board member. Dark Assassin is a card where you can spend the Magicka bonus, or you spend Dark Assassin's Magicka cost, and you can send that card from your hand to the graveyard to destroy a card that your opponent has just called to the field. So that was actually a really good play for Alex to stop Carter, because Carter could have potentially flipped into possibly a Furbish Temple Judge, the Light Warden, Washaways, all very powerful phase 2 and phase 3 Furbish battle cards. Now the thing that stinks though is Carter does have a tremendous amount of magicka, and because Dark Assassin does cost a decent amount of magicka, if Carter had one other council board member, he could have still done the ability by bringing out another council board member and just getting rid of that that card effect that Alex was able to do.
It went right away. Gone. So, me and you?
So unfortunately, Carter just does not have much to do except to see what Alex is going to do. Alex is going to use Lancer to defeat Tradesman, and then Timid Soldier is going to use to kill the Gardener, and he's going to deal 300 to Carter's Sacred. So now at this moment, Carter's just waiting to see what he can do to bring out a card. Now he has this fear of if he spends Magicka to get a perfect card as an answer to everything, if Alex has another Dark Assassin in his hand, then that card is just going to get laid to waste. And so we'll see what happens here. Carter now has 2 Abandoned Armies in his hand, and now because he has no battle cards on the field, it might be a really good card to bring out, because it would now be an 800-800, which would be impossible for any of Alex's cards to get over. Carter thinking about what he wants to do. You almost wonder if you'd be better off playing Silence just to kind of delay one turn to see if he can get one other card. He does have that block spell that Carter is now remembering that he had. So again, all these small little things, and just keep in mind what cards you're laying down to see what you can do.
First cast.
Alex is going to Dark Assassin the Abandoned Army, and again just taking cards away from Carter. See, all those Dark Assassins Alex was able to get to because of Lancer. I will mention that Dark Assassin is one of the cards on the table for potential limit in the game, just because at this moment there are no cards currently in the game that can be used to negate the ability, which is a very effective ability. So Tax Collector is going to make Alex have a little bit less magic on next turn. Carter is going to swing in with Tax Collector, and hopefully that's been enough to stall him, but it most likely will not be, being that he does have Lancer and Carter's Sacred only has 700 health left. So Alex is going to swing in with Outpost Tower and kill the Tax Collector. And then Alex has more than enough after playing that power, and it's going to kill Carter's Sacred. So very fast and efficient dealing from Alex. Really well gameplay. At least Carter was able to make it in the second round. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay video. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. The thing I love about sharing these gameplay videos is it helps teach you guys how to play the game, also gives you guys strategies on how to play the game, and maybe just gives you a better idea of what kingdom you want to buy. With that, stay tuned for next week's video, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, evening, or night whenever you're watching this. Thanks.